had a lot of work done.
Recently, yeah. Recently, in the last few years, there's been some
like
new
a
bits.
third refurb, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, well, it kind of got built in stages. We should probably just save it for the podcast.
Right, well, we can dive in. We can dive in if you want. I've just finished my first beer. I'm about to open my second beer.
I just opened my second, so I'm on the same level. I'm good. I don't know. Whenever, yeah.
Okay, so how are you? Are you excited for this weekend, man? Like, honestly, I've seen some of the videos from the last jam, and I know that the jams have been going on for a while. But like, have you been busy? Have you been skating? You getting ready?
Yeah. No, I've been skating a bit. Actually, I mean, for a while, when we first started planning, that gave me loads of juice to get out skating loads. And also because I knew I was going to have to go on the internet and try and convince other people to come skating. I thought it'd be nice if I had, at least a clip to show I was getting out. So yeah, I was skating a lot, but mostly it's just been head down organising things for it. Super hyped about it though. It seems like, I don't know, us and everything else in rollerblading seems to be going pretty good the last couple of months.
Yeah. That's good, man. I've been back on it, fully back on it. I've been posting on Facebook about my frames, but have you seen these Kaiser frames before? These advanced, the glow-in-the-dark wheels?
Yeah. I'm aware of them.
I've been out on them like every day.
You came
on
out
and off,
them.
man. Like, I may as well have done. Like, they're so much fun, so much fun. We're living in Greater Manchester. I can just fly about, but I don't know what the ground's like in Scotland. I don't know how your roads are, but I know that Livingston's quite smooth, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Livy's a new town. Livy's one of the places that they just kind of like built where there was nothing previously. So, when I grew up there, you didn't have to cross a road pretty much ever. There's an underpass at almost every crossing, because it's all been, there's nothing to build around. Everything was kind of purpose built in like little grids. And so, yeah, it was pretty smooth. My route from my parents' house to the skate park is one of the funnest things to skate in the whole world. You just kind of boost down loads of these different paths, and then whenever you get to the bottom of a hill, there's all the underpasses have got like flat banks at either side of them, like a kind of really badly built half pipe with no curve.
Yeah.
So you just kind of fire down all these hills, and then you carve up one side of them, carve up the other. It shoots you down another hill. Getting home takes ages, but skating down to the park is an absolute joy.
So it's quite a modern town then, almost a new build in a sense.
Yeah, literally. Like I don't know. You guys probably. I mean, we got taught about it at school. We studied like the new towns. I can't remember the other ones, but yeah. So everything, like, it's literally. I think it was a couple of farms and some a little bit of some kind of mining or something, but pretty much fields. And they just kind of built factories and then built houses and built a skate park pretty early on as well.
So the skate park was built in the 80s, wasn't
it? Yeah. I think Kenny first applied to try and get it in 1976.
Okay.
And then the first bit, then it got built in stages. They built the bowl. There's like a big bowl connected to a smaller bowl, which is known as the wee bowl. Because it's Scotland, and so that was there. That was built there, at the very early 80s, and then they built a bigger bit onto it. That's a kind of large reservoir and a half pipe. But then it's got a kind of flat bank down the middle of it and a big open area down the middle of it, which just kind of looks like an empty area now, but was actually probably the most popular bit at the time because they would do slalom and stuff down it. They would put out cones and do that kind of thing. And even just the flat bottom bit there, was popular because flatland skateboarding was kind of coming into its existence. And then they built another extension onto it. That was always there from when I remember going. The third bit was there when I first started going, when I was like 10 or something.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that's got it had a bit of coping, but it was like pool coping. You
Yeah.
know, like just like slabs of like concrete kind of round bit. So even by the time I got there, that the very little of that was particularly skateable. It had a coping, but there was like little sections of it that you could skate. You know, you had to like know the park pretty well to be able to know the line to not hit a crack. But it's a really fun wee bit, and that's since had a metal coping put on it, and all the edges of the bit that was, it still has no coping, but it's got a sharp edge now. And it's amazing. But that used to be the big session when, you know, even when it was rugged. So now that it's got an edge on it and you can skate both sides of it from both directions, it's a really good fun. You know, it's a great session thing because everybody can skate it, because you can skate it from both sides, and it's a big wide bit of coping that feels like a ledge when you're grinding, so it's fun.
So it's like a quarter pipe with a ledge on top.
Yeah, it just doesn't have a coping. You know, it doesn't have a coping in a, you know, traditional sense. It's just as a corner. But you know, I love it. I think it's great fun.
Like, what little blading I've seen on it, you know, from previous jams, and you know, there's quite a lot on YouTube if you're willing to, you know, look for it. I know that hunting it down, you get a lot of skateboarding. I did notice.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard to spot it, but you can you know, if you want to go in there and watch some of the blading stuff, there's plenty up there. But it looks like a lot of fun. Like, the actual jam is on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the jam's been going a while, so it's the Pure Fun Blade Party now. Is that always been the name? Because it's been going since God knows when, hasn't it? The Livy Skate Park. They've always, you know, obviously if it's been around since the 80s, and Kenny's been there for, you know, all of that basically, hasn't he? So, like, getting all the jams together.
Yeah, I mean, I've been chatting with some of the other guys and trying to dig through old magazines and stuff to get my dates right and stuff. But yeah, I've got an old document skateboarding magazine here from 2005. Yeah, 2005. And it's talking about the 25th anniversary of the Pure Fun Skate Party, which is, you know, the Borders one.
Yep.
And it was, you know, it's always been organised by some of the Borders, and Kenny Omand, the guy who originally kind of got the park going.
Yep.
And so it would have been in 1995. It's the same year as, you know, the X Games and, you know, the spike in popularity in rollerblading.
Yeah.
And Kenny was always supportive of stuff, you know. He'd seen skateboarding dip and BMXing rise, and even before that, roller skating have its moment, and so he was always really supportive of stuff. So he, seeing how many of us there were, said, like, look, I'm going to throw you guys a wee barbecue the weekend after the skateboarders party. So that would have been the first one in '95. Like you know, it would be a low-key affair as far as advertising, but it might have been one of the best attended ones because there was tons of us back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the first one, '95, and the first proper one that we have a flyer for, and we can find like evidence of it getting advertised and stuff, is '96, and it's gone since then. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I thought maybe we had taken a dip somewhere, but we chatted out with the guys, we went through everything, and went through the kind of different people that it was handed off to, and you know, we've done it every year, you know, since for the last 23 years. 2020 will be our 25th anniversary.
That's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, I'm you know, I did it. I started doing it once I was probably old enough to start taking, like, maybe 2000. Yeah, maybe about 2000. When I was maybe 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And I started, you know, trying to help out and make it a wee bit bigger and try and get like a few sponsors involved and whatever. And I did it up to 2000. I don't know. About 2005, I moved away from Livingston.
Yeah.
And moved up to Dundee. So I was still helping out a wee bit up till about 2010. And then some of the other guys, Daniel Pike, one of the old friends from Livingston that's been skating since, back in the day. He took it up for a few years. Finton took it up for a few years. James Wilson, do you know James?
No, I don't think so.
Short guy from Livingston that does flips and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he was a bit of a feature on UKBC or whatever while I wasn't paying attention to stuff.
Yeah.
But he kept up for a few years, and then he wasn't able to do it this year because of obligations. So we just all kind of chipped in again and decided can't let it stop. Because that's happened a few times. We've claimed there's been a few ones that have been the last ever skate park. but every year someone goes, nah.
Yeah.
It's too much fun.
It must be the longest running
I think so.
Aggressive skating event in the galaxy. It must be, because we've been going for such a long time. I can't recall another skate comp that's been going quite so long.
Like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, because it's a big collective effort and it's been handed on from generation to generation. but I can't think of it. I can't find one, and I don't know. I fancy myself as knowing everything about rollerblading. So if I don't know, I would be surprised to find. I don't know. Yeah, it's amazing. It's really gratifying. A lot of people do stuff for a while and give up on it. It's cool to think that the stuff that me and my pals were doing when we were wee is still fun.
So when did you start skating? Like, when did that happen for you?
The first skates I remember getting were like Senecas.
Jesus.
Do you remember them? They were like toy skates.
Yeah.
They're the kind of nice purple and turquoise colorway. I don't think they had bearings, and they just had like they didn't have urethane wheels. They just had plastic wheels with a slightly softer plastic around the outside
that would peel off.
Yeah, they would peel off like a sort of like a little baby bell. So you'd have these, and I got them for my either Christmas or my birthday when I was 7. So that would have been like 93, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not very good at maths. 92. Yeah, 92. And it was just like I literally just saw people doing it in the street. My first memory of skating, seeing people skating, was used to go up to Blockbuster Video to hire hire a movie or
OG.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not scared of my age. Like, I still like we could walk up to Blockbuster Video with my dad, and or to hire Skitchin. I remember that, hiring Skitchin for the Mega Drive. That's some super OG rollerblading stuff.
Super OG.
And like I was explaining about all these flat banks in Livingston, every time you don't cross roads, until recently there was no stoplights or anything. Like, there was an underpass at every single one.
Yeah.
So, and I would walk past on the way up to Blockbuster, and there would be just this crew of people just rolling up and down, having their own little Mighty Ducks session in the underpass. And then I'd see them up. There was tiny little barrier rails up right outside Blockbuster, and they would see the same guys there, and it looked cool. I don't know, the Mighty Ducks and everything was out, but it was literally, it wasn't any advertising thing, or it wasn't any of the media thing really. It was seeing people do it in real life,
just seeing them do it.
Yeah, so like seeing people on the street do it, seeing like the guy up the street just skate past the house. Was what made me want to get into it. And then my parents were really supportive, because at the time skates were sold in ski shops. The place to go to get your skates in Scotland would have been like Blues in Edinburgh or Greaves Sports in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And it was like the ski, it was in the ski section. Rollerblade was distributed by Nordica. Salomon wasn't a company yet, but
yeah.
But there were a lot of the early stuff. They were pushing it as there was little rollerblade instructional videos of guys with ski poles and stuff. And my mum and dad thought it might help with skiing because they skied and had us on ski. Me and my little brother on skis since we were young. So I think they liked that about it.
someone was talking about this the other day about whether or not, you know, it was important how I think it might have been Bobby. Is it Bobby Spassoff?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Why does nobody understand this guy's name? Like, it's Bobby Spassoff. I see it everywhere. I've talked about him loads to random people in sessions, and like, it's probably not PC, but I'm like, I'm gonna do some of them Spazzy Bob moves. They're like, or I remember the Mushroom guys talking about it on one of their podcasts, and it was like, you know, I don't know, but his name's like Bob is Paz on Instagram. And I don't know, he doesn't seem to have that hard a name to pronounce. I think he's killing it.
Yeah. Oh my god, unbelievable.
I love stuff. I love how he's committed to style and to like his version of doing stuff properly. You know, you don't need to. You know, you don't need to enforce that on other people necessarily or whatever, but that doesn't mean you need to shy away from giving yourself your own rules about stuff. Like, I want to do it this way and I'll be happy when I achieve it. Like, I love that stuff. I used to love that about the Philly scene. I love that about the Livy scene.
Yeah. Like, just doing it for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, but also not like, you know the way like in the old days, like the Philly guys would always be like, you know, you do a back torque, you have to come out backwards, you know, that kind of stuff. And there's people talk down on that stuff these days. I think like, do it however you want, and that's cool with me as well. You should do it however you want, but like, I'm a designer, I'm not an artist. You know, I like a brief and I like a set of rules that I like a goal that I'm trying to achieve, and you know, I want to do it this way. You know, this is the way that I've decided based on my experience. Looks cool, feels cool, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter if you like that or not, but setting your own rules for stuff, I find, you know, interesting and important.
Yeah, just I like to think if I'm there to kind of do it myself, but I like to push myself. You know, when I go skating, I don't like to go out without a plan. Like, when it comes to a ramp one session, I'll know in my head like it's going to be a ledge session. Like, it was the last time I went, I was going to try and get on the ledges, and that was where I was going to stay all night because I knew that I wanted some lead tricks. I was feeling confident with them. That's what I wanted. But everyone went to the bowl or everyone went to the down rail, and I ended up having to change my session. But I also kind of go in thinking, if I can try and make it look as good as possible, you know, there's kids all over the skate park watching people rollerblade with their rollerblades. Like, if you're making it look good and you're making it look fun, you're going to want to keep doing it. And I think that pulls people in. I don't think being egotistical in rollerblading is a good way to get people to want to come and join in with the sport.
But I mean, and also that's like the idea of kind of what I'm talking about making stuff look good and making it look the way I want to, and deciding you can't do this trick, you can't land forwards out of this trick, and you know, setting these parameters. You know, it's like a personal. It's a fallacy. You know, because to land it that way, you probably need to. It'll probably take you about 15 goofy attempts. Yeah. That, you know, people watching it in the real world won't get. But the clip will look banging, and you know, and I like trying to achieve that. Even though I know it's fake, even though I know it, you know, I'm not making a documentary here. You know, I'm trying to achieve a thing that, you know, that I like. That makes sense?
Yeah, you've got to enjoy doing it yourself, definitely.
Yeah.
And I like to. I do like going out and filming. People say, you know,
I don't know what do you think?
Filming's just a difficult thing, but I don't. As soon as the camera goes out, people go crazy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I do like to film with intention. Like, we've got a plan coming up. I don't want to say too much about it on the podcast because we're going to be doing an announcement for it. We're just waiting on some stuff, but I'm hoping that it gets people up and ready. The sun's out. People need to get their blades together. People need to get their mates together. I think having a camera does push people, but having a project in mind helps to push as well. And I don't mind filming for that stuff, but I don't really film that much anymore. I don't really need it anymore because I skate solo most of the time. I just go out and do it for myself.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I've been going through. I kind of rounded up all the little bits and bobs I needed to try and rip our old skating tapes and stuff. I used to run like a little, you know, livyrolling.com, our wee website that had, you know, our little crew videos, and when we'd go to events, we'd put up coverage and stuff. It was like super early days of the internet though, so, you know, video wasn't up to much. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. I forgot what was down
there. See, Bobby has got this weird style that I think kind of, it's like Marmite, but at the same time, I think rollerblading's shifting at the minute, and people are liking stuff that is a bit different and isn't so forced and isn't so,
Well, that's weird, same. Right? Because that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, what is like his style? It's like it's totally forced, but he's forcing himself to look natural and stylish. It's like an oxymoron or a dichotomy or whatever. But
like he's having to try to skate like that. Do you know what I mean? Like he's having to try to physically make it look like that. If I went out skating, there's no way I would choose to move my body the way that he does.
Yeah,
but I get that.
I love that.
That's what he wants to do.
Like some people would say like, oh, he should just do it how it feels. But like,
yes,
like it depends. It depends. Like I like abstract art. I could look at an abstract painting and see the experimentation that's going on there, or the excitement and the new that's happening there. But I look at a crisply designed logo that's gone through 15 million different iterations to get down to this one simple Nike swoosh or whatever, and it's not real. The ease which the thing, the clip ends up, or the final image ends up, or the artwork ends up, isn't, it's not real. It was very hard to get to that, that simple thing in the end. But I don't know. I love that commitment to something. I love that. I think that's really interesting.
I think because it's so different, it does pull you in, and I like that about it. It's stuff that on Instagram is crazy to watch. I just sit and watch it for hours, and he's not even like up there in terms of my favorite skaters. But that's kind of like why I like Brasco as well. Like he does that same sort of thing. He just does his thing.
But what do you like? I would like. Hot take. Like Adios is my favorite Brasco section.
Yes, it was amazing. It was
like
amazing.
Obviously it's new and everything, but like he would have been one of the people that, like in the old days, would have been like, oh, if people just saw Alex Brasco, they would see how sick rollerblading is and whatever. And stuff's amazing. Obviously, old stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
But his bombs hanging out. He's got them like elastoplast colored TRS with his straps flapping all about and jumping off it. Like it's sick, but look how refined he is now. Like look how sick.
So clean.
Like. And again, it doesn't come easy. That comes that's a commitment to making stuff that you want to look a certain way, and really commit to it. That's incredible. And I think rollerblading's just reaching that point where we have enough of the tools and enough experience to really, really be refined like that. And it's incredible to see.
That's the thing. It takes time, doesn't it? The more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. You're going to feel more comfortable. And you're going to put out a bigger picture, the picture that you want to portray when it comes to your skating. Like, we all skate differently, we all vibe differently with each other. I know not everyone clicks, so be it.
But even on the opposite end, like the mushroom guys and people doing kind of small, I don't know how you describe it. The people wearing dickies and doing toe rolls and stuff.
Yeah,
like I love all that stuff as well. Like it's had just as much thought put into it. Or it's as free, or it's
it's just as hard, in my opinion. And have you tried some of that stuff, mate?
I mean, it's the idea that that you've thought about what you want to achieve, and then it's about have you achieved it. They're not it might look, some of it might look sporadic to some people, or to people with older sensibilities maybe, but. Mm-hmm. It's none of it's by accident. Every single thing they do is purposeful. It's like, I'm trying to do this, kick this thing, and then roll over this, and then whatever, and and then achieved it. And that's impressive. Whatever style you choose to employ, to me.
Yeah. Do you think there's a way? Do you think it's ever possible to set your limits too high in rollerblading?
Oh, it depends what. Yeah, it depends what you mean by goals. If your goals make money, then. I would say that's unrealistic.
But could be done with time. There are a few businesses in the UK that have.
No, I disagree. I think it's a terrible way to make money. Rollerblading is not a way to make money. But that's not to say you can't make a living rollerblading. I have friends who make a living rollerblading.
But that's just making a living, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like the best rollerbladers, even at the height of stuff, you could have got a mid-level, jobby job, and got paid. Like, even, people brag about like the glory days, supposed glory days when people were getting supposedly loads of money. The top pros in the world were not making more than the area manager of your local Marks and Spencers.
No.
So it's not a way to make money. That's not why. I don't think that's, at the end of the day, anyone trying to make money out of it is trying to make a living. They're not trying to make money.
No.
They're trying to get by. They're trying to support the things. I love that about it. It's a terrible career path, but it's a brilliant thing to do.
It's enjoyable. Like, I don't ever expect to be able to make a living off the podcast or rollerblading. I'm just doing them because I really enjoy them. Obviously, I've got the community involved now, and that's great as well. But it's never going to be something that makes me money.
But I think that's fine. There's better ways. There's lots of ways to make money these days. I'm quite lucky doing kind of freelance design stuff that, like doing my work affords me time to go rollerblading. I don't need to be. I don't need to make money from rollerblading. I make money from somewhere else. And Robin Hood that stuff into the pure fun skate party. We pay for all this stuff out of pocket. So, and that's fine. This is my favorite hobby. This is, what all of us have been doing since we were wee. So
I was literally saying this today, like, if I was ever going to spend my money, I'd rather spend it on rollerblading, like, if I can. Like, if I've got it.
It comes back. And it
comes back.
It's the best money. I never regret spending any money on rollerblading stuff.
No.
Like what? I've never, I might have bought a couple of dodgy T-shirts or an ugly pair of trainers over the years, but I've never bought a rollerblading product that that I've been
that you've regretted.
What did I get this for? Like, it's always been some good stuff.
It's always been purposeful, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, it's always got,
still good. All my old ass thrones still work.
I was looking at your thrones, man. Like, I'm actually tempted to get a bear and try and hunt down a set, but I definitely want some classics. Like, I had the Lomax for a little while off a friend. Those like bluey, grey, purpley ones.
Right, okay.
A friend had those. They had a bit of a fabric. No, but I really like the feel of them.
On the cuff or something.
Yeah.
Don't mess with any of that.
Yeah. But
the white ones with the, I don't really mess with white skates normally either, but the Lomax, the white ones with the kind of marbly, woody stuff, I don't mess with brown stuff. I don't mess with white skates. And they broke all the rules and still look sick.
So, have you ever taken a break from rollerblading?
Not really. Like, not from. I don't know. Even when I was little, I used to get mad at all the friends whenever someone quit. Whenever someone said, like, I've quit rollerblading, it used to kind of bug me. Like, I would be like, dude, like, you're not a pro. Like, you don't need to retire or anything. If you're busy, even from a young age, I was like, at some point, I'll be too busy to go rollerblading this much. Like, I'll have other priorities. I'll be old and broken, whatever, But I'm never going to quit. What's the for what?
For what exactly? For what?
I don't need to hand in my notice or anything. If I can't go skating for 6 months or 6 years, like I could still pick up my skates and go to the skate park if I've got time and feel like it and whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There was a couple, I'd say the last. Up until about 2014, like there was a period from like 2013 maybe to like sometime in 2015. I don't know. In the last couple of years, where one of the guys, Mark Graham, who is another rollerblader from Dundee, he was organising events up here, and I was helping him out with them, and I didn't skate. I remember going to three different events, and I didn't skate at them. I just DJ'd, and that's about the lowest point of my rollerblading. Being at a skate event and not skating for a couple of years on the trot. That was pretty. and missing a couple of Livy skate parties.
I suppose even if you take time out, you've always still got skin in the game, haven't you? Like you're a rollerblader.
What I did sign out of was like rollerblading media.
Yes.
I was like, in the old days, I was such a magazine head. I literally used to come down to the skate park with this like grotty freebie duffel bag with like a block of magazines in it, just to try and like, whenever people weren't skating, I would be like trying to get people to go through the magazines so that we would all be clued up on everything. I wanted the squad to know everything about rollerblading. And once all that kind of stuff died out, like we were online, at BMAG message board and UK skateboards and stuff.
Oh man, the UK skateboards.
Yeah.
Like that's old school, man. There used to be some good content on there. It's a shame all the videos have gone, man. There used to be so much users content.
Yeah,
Everyone used to post some right good videos on there. I think that's where I first saw Lomax and Burston. And
Steve Bass used to come. He used to come up to Livy for the skate party. Always sponsored. Always gave us some good prizes. So yeah. I signed out of that. Like, I used to. I don't know. Do you remember that I used to do a website with some of the other guys off the BMAG message board called The Exclusives?
No.
It was like there was a thread. There was like a long running thread on BMAG that was kind of all the like trainer nerds. It was basically like the designy guy, the guys that were into like graphic design and trainers. It was like, remember Tim Parker that used to do the it was like Tim and like Matt Andrews, James Finlay, a guy from Aberdeen. Who else was there? Like Apollo, Mika, whatever his name was. I don't know. A couple of like basically all the like hipster rollerbladers, like all the guys that were into Japanese streetwear and whatever. And we ran a website for a while that was just kind of like, I don't know, trying to post all the stuff. It wasn't all rollerblading. It was like a rollerblading site that posted also other stuff that we thought was cool, and just kind of trying to shift or promote a kind of certain like taste level. That sounds pretty wanky, but trying to get people like to see the good stuff that was out there that they could get into and they could also apply to rollerblading maybe.
Yeah.
And when we stopped doing that website, that was about the end of me keeping up with like what was going on online and stuff. Like I felt like there wasn't much after. I still checked roller news and whatever, but I started to not recognize the kind of unpronounceable Russian names, and I just kind of signed out a wee bit.
Yeah.
Until the last couple of years, and then there was a couple of things that I just found really inspiring and started to dig in and go like, I need to find people.
So where do you live now?
I live in Dundee.
What's the skate scene like in Dundee?
It's all right.
You got a park?
Yeah. There's Dud Hope got built while I was here. It's a decent park for rollerblading. It's not great. It's a really good park for skateboarding. I think they kind of copied a few of the really famous skate spots from certain, famous skateboarding videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's loads of parks about here. There's tons of little concrete parks. Back in the day, people used to travel from far and wide to come to Livingston, but now you can drive to numerous different little concrete parks from here. And when I first moved up to Dundee, the scene was great. We actually had loads of people, and we got a lot of visits from a lot of people. Just because, I don't know, I had a place that everybody could crash.
Yeah.
So they would come up this end, and a lot of the spots were, relatively untapped. But now it's the same as everywhere. I think we've got a little handful of old guys and a couple of new guys that try and get together as much as possible. I've been trying to get out and force everyone to get out, and not force it. That's ridiculous. Like I've been happy that when I wanted to go skating again, there was still people to go skating with.
Like coming back and having no one is often, do you know what I mean? You've not got much incentive to crack on. So it's always good when you come back and there's a scene there.
Yeah, do you ever skate on your own?
Quite regularly, actually. I live like 45 minutes from Manchester, about 40 minutes, about 20 minutes from Warrington. So I skate with Pete Colquitt now, who's one of our patrons.
Yeah, I know his name. I know his name from getting back on the internet. See him pop up on UKBC and whatever.
Like the Warrington crew, like Lewis Yoxall and that lot. So I skate on my own during the week, basically. Thursdays, if I can get up to ramp 1, there's always a good session. Always. And especially recently, like people have been getting on it. And me and Pete are going to be doing some filming with Lewis for our secret project. But we're going to go skate some street that we can't talk about. But yeah, it's good.
It's always good. It's always good to bring up things on a podcast that you can't talk about.
Yeah, it's good. Get the hype trains going. But it's obviously when I moved down here, there was no one that I was aware of. And now there's a couple of people in my town. I can usually get hold of one of them. But there's rollerbladers around me now, so and I'm obviously with the car. Beep beep. I'll see you on Saturday, mate.
Oh yeah. And I don't know. Did you see the little video I posted on UKBC of her picking up the skate party T-shirts?
Yeah.
Like that was so mad. Like that's literally. It looks in the video, I think, like I'm coming up from the basement or something.
Yeah.
But that's literally like when you open the door into the building, it's a photographer's studio, and he rents out some of the spaces. To a guy that I know has got his screen print and stuff on the top floor just now. And like open up the door and there's like a wall full of rollerblades.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, this guy has a studio, 10 minutes from my front door. And I've never met him. And it was weird. And actually there's a bit that, didn't make good video, but I started chatting to him about rollerblading and stuff and said, and he was like, oh yeah, I was skating last night. Here's some video. And he puts this video up on the computer and he's running about with your light up wheels on.
Yeah.
At this roller disco. And I'm like, no way. I was at that last night. I was at that same roller disco last night. And he was like,
oh my God.
Was that you in a white aggressive skating around backwards? I was like, yeah. Because my girlfriend's been trying to learn to skate. So I'd taken her along to these roller discos to try and, just get some safe flat space.
Yeah.
And it was mad. There's people like right in front of you that you don't know. Rollerblading's bigger than even if you take like all the people that stopped skating, they still remember that they skated. You don't act like rollerbladers went extinct or something.
They don't see a rollerblader in the street and then have an epiphany. Oh my God, rollerblader!
Yeah. Act like that though, but I find it odd.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I remember doing a podcast about kind of not forgetting about it, but moving on from it. I did it for 2 or 3 years, and then stopped. Not because I kind of forgot about it, but I moved on. I had so much other stuff going on. I really didn't have to. Rollerblading just didn't creep up again. I got a skateboard, broke my ankle. I took some time out, and then I moved to Derbyshire and found a skate park, found the rollerblader there on the same day and bought some skates and got back into it. And apart from injury, I haven't really stopped since. But injury's always a killer, man. Always.
Yeah. That's what I've been lucky. I mean, some of the older guys back in Livy will know what I'm talking about. I kind of get made fun of for how little I fall. I'm quite calculated in my rollerblading. Like it doesn't. Not to say I don't try, but I definitely try not to fall.
Yeah.
I don't like being hurt, and it's got progressively worse since 7 years old.
These things happen, man. Like rollerblading's quite an infectious sport, isn't it? Like I like to think, like especially not necessarily in terms of how your feet are, but like if you're skating rails, you're going to take more of a beating than anyone else. I like to think, like
how did you know when's your like in for like when would you have known any of the Scottish guys? Who's like the first Scottish rollerblader that you remember? Chaz?
Yeah, I think it would have to be Chaz, and only from Unity magazine. Like I didn't see him in the Solomon. No, I know that the Solomon Team DVD was 2001, but I didn't see that DVD until a bit later on in life. But I remember buying Unity mags.
Livy's in that.
Yeah,
that's like I'm so proud. Like I'm really gutted that it's got the like Gav Nelson does a massive 540 off the top of one of the things and he falls. Gav was like the original stylish Scottish rollerblader. He was on Salomon, when they first started and stuff. And Josie does a Royale on the back wall, which has a 50-foot drop on the other side to backflip, but he doesn't land. He did land it, but then they asked him to do it again, because they didn't, because Dave Payne didn't film it. Dave Payne from Video Groove Video Magazine.
They're filming at
I'm
Libby.
so proud that that there's that kind of documentation of something at Livingston. That the rail became known as the Feinberg Rail because nobody had ever really skated it before. But some of the stuff he did on that day was just mind-boggling.
Yeah. So this is the rail at the back, is it?
No. There's a really, if you like handrails, there's actually a brilliant rail at Livy which has got much better since the old days.
So I had seen the videos, and that's the thing that I was like, a handrail. I love my handrails. I'm a big fan. So
I mean, we're not I like to promote skate in the park. It's fun.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
but it's inevitable. There's a big session that always goes off on that handrail because it's kind of gnarly because it's quite a drop, and then there's some rocks and stuff. On one side there's some rocks and stuff, on the other side and it's a bit of a drop. On the other side there's no drop, but there's still rocks. But you can skate it from both sides. It's pretty low, and so it always ends up being a mad session. We always end up having to do a little, spot comp, and whenever the session kicks off there. And it used to be a dirt landing. It was, it's still got.
That's from what I've seen. It was a dirt landing.
Yeah. But now there's actually a path, so you can actually land stuff. It's big developments. That's a much more. Them putting path there was substantially cheaper and much more useful than the full pipe, which they also built. Yeah.
So. In terms of that full pipe and the rail, what got built when? I know that you said that over time they've sort of added the three, I guess the bowl sections. I don't want to call the third one a bowl section, but it's a three sort of extensions, isn't it? What's been added in the latest section? Was that the full pipe?
Yeah, the rail's always been there, but I say, it used to be a dirt landing. But you can see photos from the. Right in the second section got built, from whenever that area existed, it's always had a rail going down to the river. So that's always been there. More recently, in the last 5 years or something, they flattened out one of the grass bits at the top, and they took away what used to be the remote control car track. It used to be a little just mini racetrack where guys would go and race their remote control cars around. Well, mostly we would go and stand in the shelter of it when it rained, but sometimes people would race remote control cars around. But they flattened that, and they built two new bowls, a kind of section bowled off quarter, and this full pipe, and the other bit they kind of built some ledges and some smaller quarters and some other ledges, smaller learn to skate stuff, a little P rail and stuff like that. Yeah,
for the beginners.
I'm not really. I mean, I've been moaning places for not building standard solid
solid ledges.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Omond skate park, OG skate party. The way we use OG is a joke compared to how old this guy. How OG Kenny is. Yeah. Kenny is I don't know. He's up there. He's fit. He's still handsome, but he's an old guy, and they had him carrying the Commonwealth flame around the skate park the other year.
Good on him for still being here and still being there for the community and stuff. It's good, man. A community needs that. I started thinking about a podcast to talk about skate park construction and the organisation and the planning that takes place in getting them built. I built two. Not half as. I mean, the skate park that we built last was 150,000. This was 300,000, wasn't it? The last sort of section of Livy.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the prices. I know they overspent on that useless full pipe, though.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I was saying about Kenny was Kenny, since the very beginning, always used to, I remember this from being 10 years old, would always talk about building new skate parks and stuff, and it was why do you not build kind of amphitheater, coliseum sort of seating around it, even if it's not that high, even if it's just one seat, if it's one level, why do you not build a ledge all the way around the skate park that for people to sit on? It keeps people out of the skate, keeps spectators out of the skate park, and it's just people will always want to skate a solid, basic obstacle.
Yep.
of a reasonable height. You know, people like you'll get bored of a tiny little thing. A big thing's too much of a hammer. A nice solid ledge, you know, will last forever.
Skatable seating.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Why is that not a thing at every skate park? Why are people, you know, spectators hanging their feet off quarter pipes?
I'll tell you where they need it. Bolton Skate Park. Have you ever seen Nick Lomax's video about the most pedestrian skate park in the world?
Yes.
Right, well, that's like 10 minutes from me, and it is ridiculous. They put a gate at one side and a gate at the other side, and then a sign that says skate park users only. And people still, they walk through it, they sit in the middle of the park and eat sandwiches.
Yeah, it sucks. Oh man, from a distance, I'm kind of glad it exists. Like it's a hilarious video, but yeah,
It's too much.
It would grind my gears.
It does. Like on the few occasions that I've been fortunate. And the last time I went, though, not so much. It was like school was out, so there was a lot of families out, and the mums and dads just had to carry on. They weren't bothered about the kids, but you know, they would literally just walk through the park.
Yeah, they're so unaware. Like,
it's in a high traffic area though as well, so that doesn't help. Livy's not in a high traffic area, is it?
Nah,
exactly.
Like Livy's, like I said, you know, with it being a new town, everything's kind of pedestrianized, sort of, you know, like everything's there's a path going to everything, and there's a sign telling you where to go, and the area, like the skate park's right in the centre of town, which is pretty much one big shopping centre now. It used to be kind of separate shopping centres that have now all morphed into one big blob. So it's very, you know, it's very very sanitized.
Livy's quite a good park to add, you know, outer seating that's skatable. It does kind of restrict you in terms of building more if you were to surround it in seating, but
yeah, well, Kenny tells the story that they messed his design, his original design for the third bit that we kind of extend. It's called the extension because it's the bit that everybody, the older guys, kind of remember getting built.
Yeah,
first two bits have just kind of like been there since the dinosaurs. So the extension's the bit that kind of it gets called the extension because they remember it getting extended. But that's yeah, I don't know. I forget what I was banging on about.
Well, I was going to say, right, so this weekend, for those who don't know, although I don't know how you don't know, and you should all be getting hold of someone and figuring out a way to get there. Yeah, you should.
Where you've been for the last 23 years.
This Saturday, the Livingston Jam is going to be sick, and you should all be there. But can you tell me what you have in mind for the day? I know that I talked a little bit about it in the last episode about upcoming comps, but I think if people hear it from you in terms of what you've got planned for the day, in terms of the lineup and things like that, and where it is, I've got a rough idea, but obviously I'm going to be driving up, so I got sat there, but people get in there from trains and whatnot.
Yeah, Livy's pretty equidistant between Edinburgh and Glasgow. It's a wee bit closer to Edinburgh. If you're getting the train, it's real easy. There's 2 train stations in Livingston. And if you get a bus, it's even easier. It pulls up pretty much next to the skate park. And yeah, I don't know, like the old days, the skate park used to be a kind of whole weekend affair. We used to go for 2 days and people used to camp out. And that became less tenable, you know, over the years. Maybe about 2005, the council started kind of huffing about certain things and it kind of got down to a 1-day event. So now it's kind of like 1 day and, you know, the people that are up for it hang about into the night, but that's about it. But it's just a session, really. It's like, that's always been the idea, just to get everyone together and rollerblade. We have comps again. Like the comps used to be a bit more elaborate. We used to have doubles comps and all sorts of wacky things. But now, I think the plan for this year is probably we're not even going to have a comp necessarily, like a traditional. You know, we're not going to stop anybody skating or that. The plan so far is to just judge it at the end of the session.
Yeah,
you know, like I think that's the best way. Like we're just going to hand out the prizes. You know, we've got loads of prizes from our wonderful sponsors, and I've got some nice wee medals that my girlfriend has sorted out laser etching for us, and some cool wee things. But we're just going to dish them out for the people that like I don't know. It's really easy to tell at the end of a day of skating amongst your peers, like who skated best. And if you keep it as unstructured as possible, I think that
less pressure.
Yeah, it means people just skate their best. It means people don't have to like. There's nobody's going to sneak in with a cheeky backflip in the last second and like win the like it's not a competition, but it's nice to award the people who achieved the most that day.
It is the pure fun blade party. It's not
exactly
the pure fun blade jam. Pure fun blade competition. It is a party. It's a chill day. It looks like the vibe is all about getting together and doing something together, and
like that's cool,
man. Honestly,
like I think James, when James Wilson was doing it, I think he hooked up he'd managed to get it so if you won the comp, you qualified for like Slam Jam or the British Champs or something.
Yeah, okay.
And that stuff's great, but honestly, it's about having a session. And getting some music, we've got some music. I'm going to have my wonderful girlfriend on the barbecue, and the weather is going to be absolutely blistering hot, or like I don't know. It's going to be.
It looks good enough for me.
How sunny you need it to be to not get a suntan. Yeah, so it's about rollerblading and hanging out. We have such a good. I'm really proud of the Scottish scene. The people that still do it really love it. And are generally a great laugh. Even the ones that are crap at skating are good people. So
you all seem very happy and positive. That's always good.
I mean, we got jokes. We say some pretty horrific things to each other, but we don't mean it.
No, I know we talked about looking back and seeing if you can figure out see if you could find any horror stories. But
there's some bad ones. Did you see that the edit I posted up the other day, the 9-minute monster?
Yes.
Yeah, did you see the end of that? The girl getting hit in the face with a bin?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm still I say I'm scarred with it. I'm sure she's more scarred.
Yeah, sure she is.
But yeah, Big Danny skating about naked, and like I say, because it used to be a whole weekend thing. It was our little tea in the park or whatever.
It's party,
we were all young, and to be honest, I don't know, some wild stuff happened, but there's more skating than you would imagine. Even through the middle of the night when people were getting drunk, there was still people skating.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, beer number 3, mate.
Stuff. I might. I'm just about to finish my second and need a third.
I figured with it being a podcast about the Pure Fun Blade party, and we can have a little party. But
I don't want to play that up. Like in the old days, Kenny always used to kind of interject whenever anyone talked about drinking. It was about the same time that Livy got a bylaw about it being illegal to drink in the streets, which it is, kids. So remember, if you're coming, fizzy pop bottles only. There will be no alcoholic beverages. It is not the skullfuck days.
It's not that kind of party, guys.
I mean, it is, everybody's welcome, but we're all a wee bit more mature now.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, even going through the horror stories, they're not that horrific to me. They still involved a lot of rollerblading and a lot of hanging about, talking, telling stories, which is great fun for me.
So good memories as well, though, aren't they? Not necessarily. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you've obviously the Scottish scene's been around for a while, hasn't it? I like Chad Sands, for instance. He was always one of my favourites. His style and listening to the Scottish accent's always been intriguing for me. I like it a lot. And so Chaz and James Keaty and Scott Quinn and whatnot. Right? You've got a good scene.
Keaty used to be mini Brosco.
Yeah,
but he
most
was
definitely.
We've got some incredible skaters. I don't know what it is about up here. Since back in I remember back to the Wakefield days, Gav Nelson was one of the first stylish rollerbladers. In that those days there's that wee kind of Anthony Mackie and Mike Morales and the Jaggers and stuff. And Gav was incredible back then. One of my proudest moments was when I was getting a pair of rollerblade Dirks while I was on holiday in America, and brought them back before the Unity that had them in it had come out. And I was at the British Championships, and I was giving Gav a shot of my dirt. You know, he took off his chocolates so he could get a shot of my my dirks.
Oh my God.
And then the rest of the rollerblade team all took turns of because none of them and it wasn't even like I had literally just bought them at a sports store while on holiday in Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gav was up there, and then Chris Doughty, obviously.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's just one of the most incredible rollerbladers that we've ever had, and one of the best designers. The stuff he did with Enigma was, that was. We had a great scene, and we still half those people still do it, or like I say, even if they don't do it, it's not like they've forgotten about it. Chaz might not be skating these days, but it's not like he couldn't still wrench you on any crime box.
On any down box. On any. Yeah, Chaz has always blown me away, man. Like, his style was just amazing back in the day when he was riding for Solomon. Watching him on the Solomon DVD back in the day was like I'd watch him and then I'd watch Minton, and I wouldn't sit and compare them two, but back then, like, that was just this. They both looked so consistent with the way that they skated and how they made it look. They looked so confident and so skilled at it. It was always so intriguing because I always thought, there's no fucking way. Sorry, I'm never going to be able to do that.
But again, yeah, it was inspiring. And again, like, getting to see both of them at Livy, getting to see Vinnie Minton at Livy was, that's my...
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was just... I could die happy. Actually, when I first started, I made the Instagram for the skate party this year. The first, I posted a bunch of clips on it, and I didn't know how, but there was something I knew was unsatisfying about them to my over analytical graphic design eye, and it was because I hadn't chosen a screenshot for them. The still that shows before you play the video.
Yeah,
and I worked out how to do that, so I deleted all the videos off of it and reposted them again, with a screenshot, except for the one of Vinnie Minton, because he'd commented on it, and I was too grommed out to delete that.
He commented on something of mine last year. I don't know if you do know or not, but I help out with the rollerblading game On a Roll.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I know it exists. I've been kind of it's annoying because I don't have a PC or whatever I can play on it. So I've almost ignored it so that because I can't
play it.
Not being able to play it. I can't have it under my nose when I can't do it. I need to be I'm desperate to play it though.
It's a fantastic experience. It really does. Did you ever play the Skate series on back in the day? The Electronic Arts Skate series, the only reason I played those because using the controller felt like you were playing on a skateboard, or at least it kind of felt like that.
I still have an Xbox, so that if for any reason I feel the need for historical reasons to play rolling or aggressive inline, I still have access.
Yeah,
literally, that's why I haven't played it or plugged the thing in about however many years it's been since then, but
it's there.
I keep it, but I don't throw it out for that reason.
Well, I basically run I don't say a community for it. I run basically the online community for it, which is a fantastic experience in it on its own. But I post this On a Rollers content on YouTube, on Instagram, and I posted something, and I think it was the UKBC hoodie. I don't know if you saw that red hoodie with the UKBC logo on it, and some of the Ratchard Johnson Aeons, and it was just me having fun, and I spoke to Damn Some Music about using their stuff, their music in the videos, and Vinnie Minton commented and said, "Look, this looks insane!" And I'm guessing because it was the editing style and the red and the sort of, I kept crouching in all my tricks, so he sat down low on them all, and it was not intentional, but I'm not even surprised that he's come in and gone, "Yeah, this looks sick," because that's kind of his style, and it was always really very, very cool.
He just won an Emmy.
I saw. I don't know what his Emmy was for. Was it for his video production?
Vinnie Minton on an Emmy.
That's crazy.
It was for being involved. I don't know. He does crazy filming and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Vinnie Minton got an Emmy. So many talented rollerbladers.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about rollerblading. I like to think that a lot of rollerbladers get involved in social media or media in general because of rollerblading, especially now that rollerblading is quite important and big on social media. Like if you go on Instagram, there's rollerblading all over it now, all over it. It's a really good, if you want to check out more rollerblading, just go onto Instagram and search for the hashtags. Like everyone's on it. It's a really good network for that. So that's why I'm so keen on using it myself.
Well, yeah, same with, it's been really good. Like since I set up the skate party, the blade party, whatever we're calling it this year, the roller party. The Instagram for that, it's been amazing because like the only things that I follow on that are rollerblading stuff. So and I just follow everybody because they're all like anybody rollerblading. I'm going to follow on the skate party account. And it's amazing. So, like, I've got like this solid feed of rollerblading stuff, and I don't think I've logged into my personal one more than 2 or 3 times since I set up the skate party one. Because it's
I do the same with the Blading Culture one now. Like, I although I have my own personal Instagram, like the Blading Culture one at Blading Culture Podcast, by the way, and you can check out Pure Fun Blade Party at Pure Fun Blade Party. They're on Facebook and Instagram. But that's this Saturday, by the way, for the record. The reason for this podcast is so that you all come up to Livy this Saturday. It starts at 11 a.m., doesn't it?
I mean, 11. It starts when you get there. That's been on the flyer since '96.
Yeah, starts when you get here.
That's been the time. It started when you get there since '96. So, and inevitably, every year, or at least every year that I was, the kind of one of the main guys running it, you have 15 different kids come up to you going, "When does the skate party start?"
Well, started.
Yeah, it's like we have music, we have rollerbladers, we have, what exactly is it that you're waiting? What are you waiting for? What is it that you expect to start? It has begun. You are here. So yeah, like I put 11 because you can't put there's not a box for when you get here on Facebook. But we'll be there. I don't know. We'll be setting up from 9ish probably. Just getting wee things built up, and we've got some of the guys are working on a wee extra obstacle. And
I was going to ask about extras, whether or not you'd built anything for the event. Obviously, the park is great. The picture of it looks amazing. I absolutely cannot wait to come play on it. Parking's nice and easy. You've got a car park right next to it, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, there's one that's connected to the skate park, and then there's another one right next to it that belongs to the nightclub that's next to the park. They used to get huffy late at night and start kicking people out, but I think actually, I don't live in Livingston, but I think I saw a thing the other day where that nightclub's closed down again just recently, so that car park's probably empty as well. Yeah, but yeah, plenty of spaces, and even next to that, there's a giant shopping centre car park. There's a big Asda Walmart place, basically in the car park. So yeah, that's easy.
It looks great. I've obviously been back on it at the moment, and I go to Ramp 1 all the time, and it's always the same, and I wish that I could build something to take with me. I've been talking to Paul USD from UKVC about building a rail, but if you've built something fun for the day, I'm quite intrigued.
Well, I mean, not me, but Big Daniel Dunlop, the one that you can see naked in some of our skate party videos. Yeah. He's building some stuff. We'll see how it goes. I'm not promising anything, but it looks promising, even though I'm not promising anything.
It's going to be a good day. Saturday the 23rd, isn't it? Yeah.
This Saturday 23rd.
Because obviously I'm going to try and get this up tomorrow so that it's up and then it's out. But I really want everyone to come. There's a free ride from Manchester. If anyone wants to get on it, message me and I will take us all up. Although again, I am going to try and say, am I okay to stay over? I do not want to be driving back.
Yeah, like I said, one of the guys will put you up. But if not, I'll put you up. You can stay with me and mum and dad and my girlfriend. You might have to. My mum and dad have a swanky camper van thing. It's got a double bed and stuff though. It's quite nice. You might have to sleep in that. Yeah.
Well, if all else fails,
but that's only. But honestly, one of the lads will put you up.
Yeah, no doubt. Sure. Well, I'm going to be trying to record a podcast on the day as well.
Yeah, that'd be ace. Have you got mobile stuff to do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I only need my phone, mate. Honestly, I only need my phone. Got my phone. I got my splitter. I've got my 2 lav mics and my other mic. So I'm gonna see how it goes. It's gonna be good.
Have you got like one of those swear buttons where you can like censor people?
No, I haven't really thought about that. I don't really need to censor. I swore on this podcast. I think everyone's sworn on every podcast.
I've been trying not to. Like
I know. I do try not to because I don't normally swear. It's just when I get excited.
Well, I normally do. That's the thing. We all do. We swear.
You Scots.
It's like when we breathe. You know, like the way I keep saying like, I would usually be saying fucking. You know, fucking this, fucking. But I've been trying to do my posh voice.
There are some younger listeners. I remember seeing a lad at Rap One who was considerably younger, and he was talking to me about. He asked about handrails and suggested I talk about them. He was obviously quite young, so listening to his feedback and seeing how young he was and the fact that he'd listened. I don't know how he'd listened or where he'd listened.
On the internet, probably.
More than likely, I thought, well, if he's going to be listening in, shout out if you're listening, brother. Thanks for the support.
Send us pictures that you do in Rails.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to be swearing all the time. I don't mind the odd one. I'm bad for it. I do have to tone it down a little bit.
Me and Daniel, one of the other Livy guys, were chatting about this. Like, you know, I'm of the opinion that you don't baby kids. I think if you treat them, you treat them like, you know, like a peer, then that's way more inspiring than trying to, you know, wrap them up or give them to, you know, I'm all for, like, you know, go kids. We need young people skating, I guess. Not I guess, we definitely do. But I think the way you inspire that isn't by, you know, talking down to them or trying to come, like, you just go out there and do it and be yourself and be happy about it and be positive and be supportive. That's inspiring, you know, not taking all the edge out of everything. Like kids don't. I wasn't into that as a kid. I didn't get inspired by, you know, the sanitized, you know, completely squeaky clean version of anything.
No.
You know, you bought the sweary version of the song. You didn't buy the edit. You know, like you know, that didn't mean that you were a wrong'un.
Just want it as it was. Like, don't butter things up.
Well, the kids are smart. The kids are real smart.
As are the rollerbladers. Like, some of the kids that I've met skating, man, they've got such good positive attitudes, and I really hope that they continue to keep those good positive attitudes. And I think that if rollerbladers have the same attitude, it rubs off well on the younger bladers, because they're going to be watching us skate. And I think this comes back to seeing people do it and whether or not, you know, attitude is more important than, you know, anything else when it comes to rollerblading. If you're being an absolute douchebag and you've got kids watching you be an absolute douchebag, and it's not going to go well in your favour. But we're quite fortunate in the UK. Everyone that I know, minus one or two, pretty legit guys. Every rollerblader I've met up here has been, you know, super sound. And especially with being back in it, because obviously starting the podcast it's forced me to rollerblade again, and I owe the podcast my legs again. Honestly, it's so nice to be back on it and a part of it.
How is the injury?
It's all right. It's getting better. I've kind of found the spot now. It seems to be the back of my knee. I was stressing because I thought it was the sides of my knee, but I never got anything diagnosed. I know that it put me out for like 7 or 8 weeks, and, you know, a couple more weeks after that where I couldn't skate again. And then I just started skating again and forgot all about it. And just this last year, it just feels a bit stiff. But yoga, I've been stretching before every skate. I've obviously now got my power blades, yo. So all 8 down, flying about, actually using my skates to skate. And I've almost changed the way I skate on my power blades. Like, it's quite eccentric because I'm not about grinding, apart from my Mac heels and fish brains, which have gotten better in the last 2 days of having my power blades, because I've got no hate spot to grind. I am bringing my normal frames because I'm coming skating Livy on Saturday and it's a grind session from the looks of things. But I've got my power blades to mess about on them. So my knee injury is good. I'm pretty happy with its, you know, performance right now, so I'm not worried about Saturday. Just got to stretch before I skate. But I was talking to Craig about it, and he says that rollerblading is it's not exactly the best sport in terms of using it as a recovery. I know that some people do, but it's not.
You know, Dave McNamara does wheel seating.
Yes.
Like, he posted, it was a comment on some other thing, but he was posting and it was some other thing he was referring to about how pretty much all rollerblades have got Osgood-Schlatter's disease. You know, it's like a knee problem.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, went to see, and some guy, I can't remember the exact details of it, but it struck a chord with, you know, like it's freaked me out a wee bit. It's like, yeah, we probably all do a pretty
We probably all do.
It's like, but like I say, like just do some calculated rollerblading. Don't go jumping off buildings that you don't need to. You can do tricks. You can do tricks without getting mashed up.
Yeah, most definitely. So this Saturday, I'm going to chill out and just enjoy it. The podcast episode that I'm going to try and record. Obviously, I'm driving up from Manchester with Johnny Quayle. Shout out Johnny Quayle.
All right, yeah.
So Johnny Quayle's coming, so you better all get your game on because Johnny Quayle is fire.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable rollerblader. But if I don't know if Johnny's up for it, he may not. I'm going to obviously start my podcast in the morning on the way. It's a long drive, but having Johnny Quayle in the car, we'll see. I'm going to have two lav mics. And it'll sound just as good. It'll sound just as good as mine and yours. You know, both recorded on separate channels. So it's going to be good. Me and Johnny are going to chat, no doubt, on the way, and then chat when I'm at the skate park and get some people in to, you know, find out how the party's going. It's going to be good. I'm excited. And then obviously, if I'm staying over somewhere, I can record some stuff there. It's going to be cool. It's going to be an interesting podcast. Not like the others, no doubt, but my take on the day, I guess. So, you know, even if you can't make it, you'll still hear a little bit about it.
I can guarantee.
But you should all be there.
Some of the people that will be there have got quotes.
Yeah,
we are not short of chat in Scotland. Hopefully, Keir comes and he can just talk to you for 5 hours. Yeah,
I watched a lot of Keir's live streams.
Oh yeah, I can't bear to.
Just say I end up sat on the computer.
He's too handsome. I can't look him straight in the face like that.
And it's always his face. He's always just chatting, and I sort of zone out and listen to him chat, and he's always got some music on and stuff. So
it's cool. Great taste in music as well.
Yeah. So you'll have music on the day. Am I right in thinking there's going to be some food on the day, or am I going to have to bring my packed lunch?
I mean, you don't need to. There's a Domino's in the car park. I was trying to get them to sponsor it, but I've not heard back. Like I designed some stuff for Domino's in Dundee, so I tried to get their area manager to hook us up with the other one, but it's not coming anything. No. But yeah, there'll be I think the plan is just to do a wee barbecue. But there's a Domino's in the car park, and there's a massive shopping centre right next to it, so food is not far away.
And a sound system.
Yeah, and we got a sound system, and just got the generator yesterday, and we got some nice T-shirts to sell.
How much are the T-shirts, by the way? What do I need to bring with me?
I don't know yet. I've had people asking me. To be honest, they're all sold out, probably, because I've had too many people ask it. Like, I didn't underestimate. I thought people would want them, but I kind of tried to only get enough that I would be able to be stuck with if nobody wanted them. Yeah. So there's probably not enough, but we still have the screens hopefully for a couple of weeks, so I can take orders on them. I don't know, I need to do the maths. I went out my way to get these particular white T-shirts because I've got a real thing about white T-shirts. I love white T-shirts, but they all suck. Like, anytime you buy a white T-shirt, you can pretty much just see through it, and it's like short in the body and wide, and it's terrible. So I discovered these Kirkland white tees that my mum bought me from Costco, I don't know, years ago. I now have about 80 of them. So I couldn't just get stuff like, send it to the T-shirt printer and, get us some white T-shirts and send it back to us. So I don't know exactly what everything costs so far. I need to do the maths on what it all cost. But whatever it is, it won't be much. And you can guarantee that they're nice.
You're happy with them?
The most of them. Yeah, they're so cool. I'm so chuffed with them. It's like the wee alien thing we've been doing is the little, like Kenny Oman drew that for the very first skate party flyer. So that's on the 1996 flyer. And then I just kind of built out a kind of spacey background to flesh it out for the back of the back print.
I like it. I think it sits really well.
It breaks all the rules of rollerblading T-shirts that I like. It shouldn't. I don't like stuff with skates on it. I don't like stuff that's overly cartoony. But I love this. I love this design.
It is funky.
I want to keep all the T-shirts for myself.
Yeah, they've all gone, by the
I'll
way.
let you know, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have to do another wee run of them, even just to hook up all the homies and to make sure Kenny gets one.
Yeah. So again, this Saturday, 23rd of June, the Pure Fun Blade Party. Be there or be square. That works. It's a party. It's just chill. Like, it looks amazing. I'm excited.
Can I thank all the sponsors?
You may,
because
you've got a few of them, haven't you? You're doing really well with it.
Well, like, I sent out a sponsor me tape to everybody. It's begging for. I don't know. Did you see You didn't see that? I did like this little video that had all these stupid. It was like all the logos for old skate companies, but all changed so they said Livy. It was like Livy legs pads.
I haven't seen that.
And it had my favourite was it was like the England logo, but it said Scotland.
Oh my god!
And then it kind of scratches off and says, "Nah, I'm joking. We need your help." And some people got back to us. God bless those people. The main thing that I kind of want to bring up is that in sponsoring the skate party, what I was looking for from people is just sharing stuff, basically. Razors, Local, Grindhouse, Head and Skate, Blade Junkies, they've all sent us some really cool prizes. And that's tough to do these days. Times are tight as far as products. But, what costs nothing is a share. Stick it up on your Instagram, get it up on your, whatever. You can sponsor the skate party for a very affordable rate of one Facebook post.
Yeah.
Help us out. And that's it, really. We don't need much, but what we need is support. And thankfully, Razors and Local and these guys have, really, really done that for us. But other people, just while I've got the chance, I just want to make sure that people get. All we're looking for is, people to get involved and people to do what they can, and even just the things that cost nothing. That's it.
It keeps things going, doesn't it?
Yeah. And why not? So, this year, we'll be back. If you can't make it this year, we will definitely be back. This isn't one of those last ever years. We will definitely be back next year. And the year after that is the 25th anniversary. So we will most definitely be back for that. And
most definitely.
Yeah, trying to do some, I think that's a big deal. 25 years of a rollerblading event needs some proper celebrating. So we'll have 2 years to do it. So hopefully we can come up with something exciting for that. But in the meantime, the session is on. I'm so excited.
The Facebook's been busy. There's obviously quite a few people that are interested and quite a few people going. Obviously, you've got quite a few rollerbladers in Scotland now, so it's going to be good to see everyone. I hope everyone from Scotland can turn up. You do have a good scene up there. You've got a lot of skate parks to kind of nurture talent, I think. But it's the younger ones that you've got to get in, like you were saying. So hopefully we have some of the younger crowd turn up.
Well, the last couple of times I've been out, I've been amazed at the amount of young people. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think you need to do much except just treat them like your peers, and then they'll come. They'll come out and they'll keep coming back.
Much as I'm excited for the jam, there's been so much stuff going on at the moment in terms of UKBC and the Facebook page, topics that have been cropping up, and there's so much stuff that I want to talk about. But one topic, there's been one thing that's frustrating me at the moment, and it's not even frustrating. It's just something that's cropped up, and I hadn't even thought about it. But in terms of pro skaters, do you think it's? I was going to ask if you thought about at all, whether or not it's becoming a pro rollerblader has changed at all, because obviously we've had quite a few pros in the UK. Chaz Sands has always been a pro, in my opinion. We have some unbelievable rollerbladers that aren't pro. Is flow still a thing? Do we still have flow skaters?
Yeah, I think I think being sponsored by a skate company is pretty much amounts to being flow these days, because it's very you could count the people that get paid money on probably no hands. If Brosco and what's his plus Aragon can't can't make a check, then I'd say everybody, financially below that is,
Yeah.
you're doing it for products. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's an interesting development in like where there's the kind of pro that's maybe more akin to like, this is going to sound insulting, but bear with me. Like a golf pro or like a tennis pro, not like Andre Agassi or whatever. Not someone that's like on the front lines of Nike's commercial, but someone who is part of an organization and who teaches and who is there to give advice, professional advice or professional guidance, or So I'd say like everybody that works at Blading Camp is a pro.
Is a pro.
Everybody that and like, I mean, if you want to get like nitpicky about it, anybody that makes a check is a pro. My mate Paul that does lessons at the factory skate park in Dundee could claim to be a pro because he's professional. He has a job teaching skating. He has a job rollerblading, but that's not necessarily the role. I think there is a place for the old type of professional though. Like, I think it was a few, but he got some stick. But all the the Kelso stuff and KCMO, you can make some kind of living off making a banging video.
Yeah, agreed.
And you'll probably make more. Like, he definitely made more off that than the best pro got paid that year, I'd say.
Yeah. It's about comps as well, isn't it? That seems to be where the money is at the moment.
Well, there's not, and the prize money's not,
not great.
But even then, the prize money's not crazy. Like, it's
a couple of thousands at most.
Yeah, the best, the people doing the best have got some other income source, than like just going skating.
Yeah.
But I think, it's so the rise of like VODs and selfie and stuff. Like, it kind of sucks that things aren't on YouTube for the world to see. But I don't necessarily think the world's looking for them all the time yet. But the fact that you can sell them directly to the people who want them, and not give anybody in the middle a cut, gives a route to being a pure rollerblading professional that didn't exist before.
Yeah, so it does give some people the opportunity to actually make, at least break even and make enough to continue doing it as a way of making money, not necessarily making,
not making money, but making a living. Yeah, but making a living. I'd like Brosco would have made more off Adios than any company would have been able to afford to pay him.
Yes.
Get that?
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. So you're getting paid for what you make rather than getting paid a wage.
But then that's a really interesting development. That's that's like being a freelance pro. Like the way I don't work for a company. I work for 50 companies. And I can choose my, most of the time choose my own hours and choose to represent myself the way I want to represent myself without having to worry about whether I'm representing somewhat bigger organization that's paying my checks or whatever. So things have definitely changed, but they're almost more exciting than ever.
Yeah, it's good that people are actually getting something out of it and being able to contribute as well. I'll throw money at anything rollerblading. I'm naive for doing so but I've never wasted any money. Like we were talking about earlier, I've never wasted any money. But there are certainly projects where I feel like I've got my money's worth. And that's the same for most projects. But Adios, for one, like watching that, it's just on my desktop all of the time so that when I get home and I've done Team Watch, I can just double click and just sit and watch something that I'm passionate about that section. It's great.
Man, I've had my money back. I've had my money back in juice off all those Kelso videos 100 times. And if they had to survive on a sponsor, like, they wouldn't be able to make that, and the sponsor wouldn't be able to justify letting them do it that way. They'd be like, no, you have to go to a competition, you've got to get a photo where you can see the skate, you've got to, now you can just be a pure good rollerblader, record your art how you like it, present your stuff the way you want to, and if it's good enough, people support it, and you can make better money than you would have on a paycheck, off a company.
We've got quite a few projects now, haven't we? Like, it's like the older generations coming in and doing it for themselves, and I guess doing what the older generation back then was doing.
That's one of the good things about all the, the post 30 older blader guys coming back and stuff. They have life skills. They have, I've been digging up all the skate party flyers, and you can see in 2001, I'd maybe just got Photoshop, and then by 2006, I'd almost completed the first level, and but now I'm a professional, and now I do it for paying clients, and I can stuff all that stuff back into a marketing campaign for the Pure Fun Skate Party.
Blade Party,
yeah. Blade Party. I think next year I think we'll go back to my thing was, because I looked at the 96 flyer with the alien artwork that we stole, and it said Pure Fun Rollerblade Party, because it was maybe just as the grief about, is it skating, is it inline skating, is it aggressive rollerblading, is it whatever, was hadn't quite started yet. Rollerblade were probably still just trying to promote rollerblading. Wasn't suing anybody yet. So I was just F it. I'm just going with rollerblading. But we were talking about, blading is fine with me these days. I don't mind. I used to not like it for some reason, but it's okay now. And Pure Fun Blade's a nice wee hashtag as well.
Yeah, definitely. Pure Fun Blade. But I often think that, we were talking about it earlier briefly, the naming convention is always difficult when someone comes in with a new naming convention and then it gets tarnished for a while. Blading did for a little while. But now, I am a blader, and I don't have a problem with calling myself a blader. Just like when I was a skateboarder, I didn't have a problem calling myself a skater.
No, I have a problem remembering why we were mad at blading.
Why we were. I have no idea.
It was just kind of kitschy, or I think it was the 80s stuff that we were all obsessed with escaping. Big ups Jake Ely and all the Go Project stuff. I think I think he's the first person I remember seeing his in blading and being that's all right now. I don't mind it anymore.
Yeah.
Even he was doing the super cool blading, and the project stuff had Go Blading on it and stuff. I remember it ruffling me the wrong way when I first read it, because I was just, for whatever reason, then just being and then it just seemed to be more and more, UK blading culture, UK BC, or
Blade life, even short, if you go out to blade, you do go out.
Every rollerblading company is just called The Blade, or Blade or Bladies, or Bladington, or
and that's okay. I'm happy with that now. I don't remember ever being uncomfortable with it, but
it was never a big thing. It wasn't, but around the same time we were trying to differentiate ourselves from recreational stuff and from hockey and all the other things that we used to do and have great fun doing before we decided they weren't cool. It was part of all that crap.
It's just kind of continued on. It's kind of cool that it has changed occasionally, and you've gone with different things with it. And
one of the super exciting develop, and even power blading. I hated that name.
Yeah, that was an instant put off of me. I was very frustrated when power blading came out, because I was like, well, it's not power blading. It's just, for me, it's recreationals. But at the same time, no, I call it power blading now.
And then someone else, I hadn't even clocked it at the time, but I knew it was Ollie Bennett that was behind some of that stuff, and obviously you went for power slide. But then when someone put I was just fuck it even more. But that started such a cool wave of people skating faster, and all these new products that we've got, and would we have wish frames without that, and all that. That's us getting over ourselves and not being so desperate to be aggressive skaters. And happy being rollerbladers, or
happy being rollerbladers
of all sorts. The type that plays hockey, the type that skates along the beach. Being happy that we all do the same thing again is one of the best developments, and one of the worst wrong turns we took back in the day, I think.
Yeah, I think we're at a precipice now where we all need to work together, most definitely, and support each other. Whether it's, it's naive to go in thinking that you can come out of it making money. But as long as you're breaking even in rollerblading, you can crack on in life and just be a part of rollerblading.
Exactly. You don't need to make money from rollerblading. There's better ways to make money.
Yeah. But if you're looking into creating a project and you want support, you know, there are other networks out there. Like, I was worried about starting the podcast because I didn't think it would get me anywhere, and it's also gotten to the point now where I don't care if it ever gets me anywhere, and I think that's actually worked in my favor because now people are helping me to do it. I know that it doesn't seem like much; it's a free podcast, but it takes time. You know, sitting at, you know, obviously I want to get this up tomorrow. You know, I'm going to be up tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way I'm looking at rollerblading stuff these days, maybe it's similar with the podcast, is, you know, I'm doing it to do it. Like,
Just
I'm
doing
making
it to
t-shirts.
do it.
I'm making t-shirts for the skate party because I want that t-shirt. You know, we're running the skate party because I want to get the boys together and go skating. You know, like, that is the end of. That's what I'm trying to achieve. There is no. I don't need anything beyond that. You know, like, going skating and making stuff and being satisfied with that. You know, that is what I'm trying to achieve. Having a cool t-shirt and having a good session is the be all and end all of this project. You know, like, it doesn't need to develop into anything. It doesn't need to get any bigger. It doesn't
There's
need
no
to,
ulterior motive.
Yeah, there's literally, it's very pure, very fun.
The Pure Fun Rollerblade Party.
Yeah.
I love the name. I love it. It's different to everything else. I know that we used to have things like the Bitter Cold Showdown, which was amazing to watch, and another one that had like a sort of a different name. But the Pure Fun Rollerblade Party is so sort of it's so descriptive of the name. Like, even I thought at first like it's going to be a comp, but it's not. I mean, there is a certain aspect of it that's a comp. You know, there is competition between you and other people there, but you know, if it's all day, you know, you are going to go in and just kind of skate and push each other, and with there being so many people there, it will most definitely push people.
I think it's nice. Like, it's nice to be able to give someone the memory of, I won Livy that year. You know, there's someone who skated really hard and who did something that deserves like a token, you know, of to be able to remember. You know, it probably seems like we've made daft trophies and stuff over the year, and it probably seemed like nothing at the time. But 10 years later, you look at it, and when you can't do backflips anymore or whatever, and go like, you know, damn, remember that day, Livy? You know, it's like, but that doesn't, you know, it's not, you know, stopping the session for a comp just isn't. It's not conducive to pure fun.
No, and I don't think it needs that incentive either. It looks like an amazing park, and it's the kind of park where I think, ironically, you could have a good jam. You could have a good like jam style comp, you know. But you're not, and it is just about getting together. There's so many comps coming up, but this one that's why I was saying when I was doing the announcement of comps for this month, like, this is the one that I'm going to try really hard to get to. I'm going to try and get to them all, and with the car now, that's doable. But being able, that's why I've been racing around trying to get life together so I can get the car. So that I remember tagging you on Facebook about, I need the car so I can go to the Livy Jam.
Yeah, man, that's commitment. I was really impressed with that. Well done.
Right. It had to happen. So I will see you on Saturday.
That'll go in the books. You know, 5 years from now we'll be doing, or like, let's say 2 at the 25th anniversary one, when we're doing the 25th anniversary Blade and Culture Pure Fun Blade Party reminiscing. We'll be able to talk about, remember when you bought a car at Livy and then we like drove it into the middle of the ramp and put a ground box on top of it and you couldn't get home. It's good times.
Good times. So I think everyone should definitely try and get up. I know that I've offered lifts. I've been pretty vocal about that. So if anyone does want to, you know, ride up with me, they're more than welcome to. But it looks good, and I'm glad that you've kind of you've done it, and you are doing it for the pure purpose of just doing it, and not because you kind of have to. I sometimes, you know, I'm not saying that there's competitions in the UK that feel dragged out in any way, but a lot of them, they almost have to happen, don't they?
Yeah.
And this one doesn't, but still does.
There's space for that, you know. I was watching the Barcelona Extreme live stream the other day, and I love watching the Fees live streams, even though it's not necessarily everything's my favourite type of skating or whatever. You know, I love watching comp skating as well. It's just a different thing, you know.
Different, isn't it?
It's just a different aspect, you know. I like watching like NBA stuff, and I like watching like And One mixtape 360 dunks. You know, they're just different games with the same toys.
But the PR Fun looks like it's just everyone in a park having a jam. It kind of reminds me of the old, Tuesday night skates at Bones, where I'd get there thinking quiet session, and all of a sudden there was a full skate park, and there was some of the best sessions of my life where there was no pressure. It was just everyone just jamming, and skating and pushing each other. So it's going to be good, man. I'm excited.
And also, Livy's got floodlights, and it's always had floodlights that are on a time, just on a light timer.
Yeah.
So as soon as it gets dark enough, the lights come on, and they're on all night. And that's a big deal. There's not that many places that you can go skate any hour of the day.
Will there be other sports there during the day then?
Anybody's welcome. I don't like the idea of banning anybody. If anybody wants to come down to the skate park, it's a public place, So if you got a scooter or a snakeboard or a couple of fidget spinners strapped to your feet, you're welcome to come and hang out.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But
I would like to see that.
But I wouldn't expect that many. If you're lucky, maybe you see some. Livy's got some incredible skateboarders. So some of the OGs from there are pretty good. You wouldn't be mad at seeing them skate the park either.
No, far from it. I love me some good skateboarding.
But everybody's pretty. They've got their own thing. That's I think the week after. So they're probably and everybody in Livy's a bit more respectful because at least I think I don't live there anymore, obviously, but we all grew up together. We grew up before Thrasher told them not to like us, and Daily Bread told us not to like them and stuff. So we're all pretty good. A lot of the good guys used to rollerblade. I won't name them so that their Huffy sponsors don't ditch them, but yeah. But yeah, you might see some others, but it's mostly rollerbladers. There'll be tons of rollerbladers.
I think with being with going for so long as well, you've had that time to develop good friendships with the different sports and the different people involved in those sports. But it has been around. The skate park's been around a long time. I can't think of any other skate parks that I've been to that have been around as long as Livy.
That's the thing. You get to come, you can come and skate the same place Aaron Feinberg did mad shit. The same place that Shane Scour, jumped off that rail. And, there's very few places left that you can do that. You can be like, especially in Scotland or in Britain, you can be like, this was in Video Groove. This was like Dave Payne filmed stuff here, and we can still session it. That's pretty fun. Or at least if you're a rollerblading history nerd like me.
Yeah, the problem with my history is I've been a rollerblader for a long time, 1998, but I didn't get into social media until I was God knows how many years into it. So apart from Unity Mag and stuff, I didn't do the social media side of things. I joined the BMag and AMOR boards for the last 2 years of their existence, and Reddit in the last year. They've got an okay scene on Reddit, but yeah.
I was similar. I didn't have a Facebook until I DJ and stuff, and we were running. I think there's a little club up here called the Reading Rooms that I play in sometimes, and we were running a hip hop night there, and we did one where I didn't have a Facebook, and I was like, I really need to get a Facebook to promote this stuff. So I only used social media as an output for stuff I was doing in nightclubs. I was just pretty much using it as a promo tool for that. I wasn't on it at all up until then. That would have been 2007 or something. And then it was only in the last year or so that I started digging into any skating stuff on any of there.
Do you like the snippets in terms of social media? If you look on Instagram, you've got at max 1 minute of footage. I like that. I like the quick insights into rollerbladers' lives. It's nice. There's a lot of rollerbladers that really do well on social media, and I definitely think it can help a jam like this.
Yeah, I like it the way it is. I like it now the way it is on Instagram now, where you have the stories and you have the kind of the shop front where you kind of put up all your permanent stuff. So that I think that gives you an opportunity. There's a forum for the throwaway things, but then you don't need to mix that in with the well manicured images that you've worked really hard on. Because it used to be, because it was kind of like, it was like Instagram versus Snapchat, and now like you have like it's kind of rolled into one. And it's been great. It's been fun doing the Instagram for the jam and trying to, like, when I went, like when I was saying about picking up the t-shirts and finding out this guy was a rollerblader, I was like, this will be a really interesting thing for people to, I would be interested in that. Like, oh no way, Duncan's like, but you couldn't do that in a nice photo. Like, I wasn't going to be able to take a nice photo of that grotty wall skates, but you could make a wee stupid video. Or you see, like, Joe, I just got a wee fisheye lens for my phone today. I got it cheap in some sale. And, like, if you see Joe Atkinson's Instagram stories, you'd, like, scroll through a couple of different people, and then instantly, as soon as his comes on, because it's got fisheye, you just know everything just looks like a skate video, and you can see all the angles. Like, it's cool. It's a good wee insight.
It is. It's a quick snippet, I guess. And like we were saying earlier, like, I use the Blading Culture podcast Instagram more than I use my own, because I follow rollerbladers specifically, intentionally follow rollerbladers and rollerblading brands. There are some that I've unfollowed because, whatever, but there's a lot of people on there, and there's a lot of good people on there, and good rollerbladers, and people who are just doing it for the fun of it. People who are starting their own brands on there, and they're using it quite well. So it is a good tool for spreading awareness, and I think, if anything, it would be quite good for the Livy Jam, like, just to be able to keep that vibe going. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was definitely a thought in just setting up all these social media accounts and stuff this year. I wanted to try and get them, like, use them as a promotional tool for this year, but also to have them for, from now on. So, like, after the jam, we'll be able to post up, coverage of the jam. But then for the rest of the year, we'll be reposting, all the sponsor stuff and, building up that network so that we're hitting the ground running next year.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm going to be there on Saturday. I don't know what time we're going to be getting there. I know it starts at around 11-ish in terms of you and your project and your plans, but we might get there just after lunch. But it's going to be good. I'm going to try and grab you and we can have a chat while we get there about how it's all going later on and catch up and see how it's all going down. It'll be good, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you, because I don't think we've ever met. So
no,
certainly not in passing. I know I've been to jams and I've been to comps, and but when you're at a comp, it's always hard meeting new people. There's so many people there.
Yeah, you can get around everybody these days. It used to be pretty tough. I definitely don't remember everybody, from like IMYTAs or whatever, but you can usually remember everyone that was at Livy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks very much. It's been great chatting to you, and it's been great just to have some support. I think you're doing a great job with the podcast. I've complimented you on your demeanour before. I think you'd be a good voice for this stuff, and yeah. Thanks.
I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and I've really enjoyed having you on. I know that we talked a while back about getting on this, ready for pure fun, and obviously I've wanted to try and get it done a bit sooner. Such is life, but we'll get this up tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see as many people as possible at the Livy Pure Fun Blade Party. Good luck with it. I'll catch up with you on the Saturday. I'll give you a shout before I get there. But is there anything else you want to add before we go? Is there anyone else you want to shout out?
Just quickly, all the people that have helped. Daniel Pike, Finton Murphy, Mark Graham, James Wilson, Big Danny Dunlop, Neil Young, Scott Thompson, and obviously the OG of OGs, Kenny Oman, that started the jam and started the skate park and is pretty much responsible for everything. And on top of that, Razors, Loco, Wheel Scene, Grindhouse, Head and Skate, and Blade Junkies, because they're dead nice sponsors.
Yeah, good on it, man. Right, well, I will speak to you on Saturday, no doubt.
Awesome, man. Yeah, looking forward to it. Keep in touch. And, speak soon.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy, man.